Hey, good evening, everybody. All right, so we just finished up with this. It's been kind of a long, drawn-out process on the Cobra 2000, but Charles, we got you done, buddy. Thankfully, I called in some favors because I did have a glitch that took me a while to kind of figure out. So, thankfully, I had a couple other tech buddies that was able to help in regards to fix a little glitch. For whatever reason, the transmit decided to drop. Wasn't the finals. Checked all the normals. Just had a little booger in it, but we had to replace a small transistor, just a little TO290 transistor, and a little capacitor in there. One of those little disc capacitors. So once that was taken care of, that took care of the problem, and now we're back up and going. But I wanted to go through this with you real quick. All right, so I went ahead and I replaced your meter lights. So we've got LED meter lights in there. So it should give you a nice, good view for a very long time. Excuse me. And the radio overall is in excellent condition. Obviously, we recapped your frequency counter. Let's get off here to the side. So we recapped your frequency counter and replaced what is it? I think it's a 5.6 volt Xenier, because I think that's like a 1/4 watt that's in there, or that comes from the factory, and I replaced it with a 1 watt because that's also one of those that it's a normal or standard glitch with these. So we went ahead and replaced that and put a heavy duty one in there. And let me take this cover. My arms will let me. There we go. I just don't have any strength in my fingers, guys. All right, so like I said, we went ahead and recapped this, and I ran the FLIR across it, which is pretty normal as far as on the different areas that's going to show heat. So what I did was I had some small little heat sinks and a special glue that they use, which is a thermal type glue. So I went ahead and I put you a couple of heat sinks actually inside here to keep the frequency counter to allow it to run a little cooler, and to go ahead and give it a lot longer life going forward. So I installed one here, and actually one on the primary chip here. This chip here gets fairly hot, and it's a common thing. But to go ahead and kind of wick off some of the excess heat, I went ahead and bonded a small heat sink right to that to go ahead and allow for better heat dissipation on that as well. So that way it actually, that's the coldest I've ever felt one of those with that little bitty heat sink. So we got that taken care of. Going back over here on the power supply section, we went ahead and replaced the electrolytics here on the small regulator board, and I also went ahead and upgraded and replaced the regulator on the board here as well. So that's all taken care of. We went through your radio. We replaced the tantalum capacitors. We replaced all your electrolytics. So we got that taken care of. We went ahead and peaked and tuned it, and then we went through and did the high fidelity receive upgrade. So we went ahead and replaced some of the Mylar caps in here, along the audio sections, in order to go ahead and give you a wider band frequency range that you're actually going to be able to hear from now. So that's all taken care of. Like I said, we went ahead and peaked and tuned it. Did a couple of little modifications as well. And because this still has the original 1969 or 2166 and 1969 finals here in the back, which are very, very hard to get a hold of, but it seems like they work the best in the Cobra 2000s. I went ahead and installed a 40 millimeter by 40 millimeter heatsink, where it is bonded to the back of this with a thermal tape to go ahead and pull a little bit more heat off of it. even though this has got a wide range here that it can go ahead and help pull, I wanted to pull and try to keep your finals running just as cold as I could keep them. There again, to make the transistors last as long as humanly possible. Over here on the right side, again, because the audio chip and the regulator, we went ahead and installed another 40 by 40 millimeter heat sink. Did the same thing. So it's bonded with a thermal tape right to the back of this to go ahead and allow for the regulator and the audio chip to help run it cooler as well for the longevity of the radio. We went ahead and installed back here. Of course, I tried to talk you out of it because this radio is just so pretty. But since it is on the back, it's not quite so bad. But we went ahead and we installed you a variable talkback back here. So your variable for your talkback is here. Your echo board is installed in the bottom. And let's flip this over. We'll get into some of the other portions of it. All right, so your echo board, we've got it mounted here. And we went ahead and installed and mounted your controls right here. So that way, once you get it set, you can forget it basically at that time. Now, you will need to use a ceramic screwdriver. I went ahead and set the modulation down kind of low on the echo board itself so that you weren't overdriving it. That way it's as close to stock as far as for using a regular stock hand mic going in. So I've got this turned down way low. That way, if you're running any kind of a microphone like a D104 or something that's an amplified, you're not going to overdrive your echo board. So we got that taken care of. Now back here, we went ahead and installed your line level out, and I made this line level adjustable. So you've got a little adjustment board that we built back here. We can get the camera around here. So I know we discussed this on the phone, but I went ahead and, like I said, installed the jack back here. So it's back here in the little corner. And then once you play with it a little bit, if you find that it's either too loud or too soft based on your volume of the radio and stuff, you can actually go right in here and just adjust this little tuner right here to adjust the volume up and down for the line level out going to your radio, or to your computer rather, for your video gates. So it just gives you a little bit more adjustment besides just the volume control up front. But I've got this set at 50% here, which should be pretty close to what you want. But anyways, got that taken care of. I went ahead and cleaned the board up for the most part, and then also installed for the power supply section a mega capacitor, if you will. So we installed that as well. I went ahead and replaced the little 22 gauge wires that they had from the factory that went to the original capacitor. Replaced those with 16 gauge Teflon here, and I also upgraded your wiring in the back where it comes off of the whole circuit itself for the power supply. So your main input that goes to your main board starts right here at this switch from the AC to DC. So I went ahead and replaced this wire, which was like a 20 gauge. I replaced it also with a 16 gauge, ran it back over and replaced it going to your main feed point on your circuit board. Again, that's also a piece of Teflon wire as well. So, changing it up to a little bit higher gauge wire with it being silver Teflon, that actually gained me almost a watt of RMS output out of this radio. So pretty impressed. I've done that in the past, but anyhow, we've got that taken care of. We checked out all the controls. Everything seems to work nice and smooth. Everything's been cleaned. So just a overall very, very good shaped radio. Now this is one that I originally done for a gentleman many moons ago. The radio, when it first came in back in 2011, because I vaguely remember the gentleman that had brought it in, and he's passed away since then. Well, anyways, he brought it in, and it was a Virgin radio back in 2011. He had me peek and tune it. You know, he didn't go extravagant, just a basic peek and tune and check it all out. So this radio's been in the shop one other time over here, and then when we got it and bought it from the family, that's when it sat on the shelf for a few years, and we finally got around to getting it all taken care of. So now it's redone. It's nice and heavy duty. We've replaced several components. I also went ahead and upgraded the going back to the receiver. I also went ahead and replaced your diodes as far as in your primary locations with the Shockey diodes or Scotty diodes, depending on who and how you want to talk refer to them as. Anyways, we replaced those to go ahead and give you a very low noise level in regards to the radio itself. So that's all taken care of. We cleaned the majority of all the shmoo from the glue. We went ahead and pulled all that out. I even had to replace a few components because I couldn't get the glue off the components. So, there's still going to be a few remnants on like the ferrites and things like that. But otherwise, we've got all that taken care of, so we don't have to worry about any of the corrosive glue causing problems, especially around like your crystals and things like that it'll eat the legs off of. So the clarifier also, by the way, the clarifier is unlocked, so it will be able to track, transmit, and receive at the same time. And let's go ahead, get up here. Let's get you some numbers. And we'll do that as soon as we get back. I'm going to take a short break, and I'll change out the slugs, and we'll go ahead and get some numbers on that. And we'll also go ahead and show the frequency range as far as on the receive. So when we come back, we'll finish up that. Okay, so I'm going to break this video down into a total of 3 different sections. So this is going to be part 2 of it. All right, so I'm set up on 27205 for the receiver, and right now I've got the input up just a little bit, and the reason why is because I want to go through the frequency range with you guys first. All right, because I've been playing around with it and just seeing. All right, so let's go. Go to the standard 1000 kilohertz tone that everybody's used to hearing. Okay, and I do have the modulation turned up a little bit on this, so we're at 70%, and the reason why is so that you can actually hear the lower frequencies is my reasoning behind that. So alright, so let's go all the way down on the bottom end first. So there's 800, 700, 6, 5, 4, 200, 100, which these radios are designed only for about 250 to 300 on the low end frequencies. I'll turn that volume up a little bit. It may be getting difficult to hear as far as on the microphone. And right there is where it stops at. So right between 50 and 60 is where it's stopping at on the low end frequency that you're going to be able to receive. I'm going to slowly hear that come up. Speed it up a little bit more. So there's 1, 2,000, 3, 4, 5. Now's where it's going to start kind of getting close to the end, at least where my ears can hear. 57. Almost 6,000. Okay, so 6,100 is your top end, and normally about 3,000 is the factory settings. So we've doubled that. So you're going to be able to hear just about anything that comes in there as far as on the high fidelity that somebody's going to be able to create. All right, so let's turn that down for right at the moment. Carrier level. Oops. All right, so we're going to start there and work our way down. Modulation level, set that back at 30%. Okay. All right, so I'll start there. Hopefully you guys, I'm going to move the camera down here back onto the radio. That way the microphone's a little closer to the speaker itself that we're using. And I'll start turning this down. Back on carrier level. Let's turn that up about a quarter of the way. So that's 0.4 microvolts there, 0.2, and 0.1 it drops out. So 0.2, that's with the noise blankers off. So it's got a real good noise blanker on it. Now we'll bring this back up, and probably between 0.3 and 0.4 is when it should break past that. Just starting to at 0.3, 0.4. Okay, so we've got great low-end receive. Obviously, you're going to have high-end receive as well as far as the larger the signals. But anyway, so we've got the receiver taken care of. Now we'll go through and I'm going to come back. I'm going to take a small break. I've already got the slugs put in there, but we'll come back and we'll do a power reading. All right, guys, so bear with me. I'll be right back. All right, guys. I just wanted to stop and get some lunch. That's the only reason why we went ahead and broke this video up. I had somebody at the door earlier. That's the reason why we stopped prior to this on the other one. So anyways, one of the other things I forgot to mention is we did put your variable power, which you'd asked for that to be put on your SWR calibration. So that's where your where your power rating is. So we'll be able to adjust your variable. All right, so let's get up here to the meters. We'll take a look at those. Come on, camera. Stay in place. Okay. I'm still hooked up to the signal generator here. Bear with me. I've had that running while I was at my lunch break, so to speak. Okay. Okay, now we'll hook back up to the antenna. All right, so you're going to be able to go down to 0 watts. Up to about 8 watts. Okay. maybe 1/10 of a watt. Okay. So let's bring that up to, what is that? 1.5 watts, I think. Hello, audio, check, 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 audio. So about 26 watts PEP. Hello, 111111111 audio, and 11 bird. And that is with the mic gain at 50%. Let's go wide open on the mic gain on the front of this. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 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 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 1 1 1 audio check. All right, so pretty healthy for a Cobra 2000. One of the other things here I forgot to show you. Like I said, we've got. Make sure you hear the little click, and that's for the talk back. Hello, check 1 2 1 2. Check check audio check check 1 2 1 2. Check check. Stock hand mic, and we've got your talk back. Hello, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check check audio. All right, so got that taken care of. But like I said, the way we set that up is on a variable so that you can turn your talk back on and off once you've got your echo board set to what you want. All right. Well, Charles, hopefully you'll enjoy this, buddy. I'll go ahead and I'll finish wiping off some of the dust that's wound up on this before we get it all shipped. So, I'll wipe down the face. I'm probably going to go ahead and leave this tape here. I've already trimmed the edges so that once we put it all back together, you'll be able to peel the tape off of it. But that way we can just try to ensure that it's going to stay as crisp and clean for you as we can. But I'll wipe some of the dust that's still gathered on this. We'll wipe that off. But otherwise, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Charles, I'm sure that you're going to love this Cobra 2000. It should last you a very, very long time in the years to come. I do have another Cobra 2000 that I am going to try to get through eventually here before Christmas. But I've also got several other items that have came in from a veteran who is, excuse me, who is selling out because he needs the money. So you're going to see a lot of different videos coming up. We've got a DAC 10. I've got a T600. I've got a couple of GE Super bases and some other miscellaneous as well that are kind of hard to find items. So he asked me to go through, clean them up, check them, and see if I could help him sell them. So that's what we're going to be doing as well. But anyways, guys, I appreciate it. Would love to have you in here. If you would, please hit the like and subscribe if you liked the video, and we will see you on the next live feed or on our next video. Don't forget to check us out on Patreon as well.